Cal Sports are here with the great Tom Loeffler. Man, we're here super early. We got here for the setup, but Callum Walsh, again, you got him on the headline of the card. He showed out last time. I told him last time, I think it took 7 seconds longer than his debut. I was like, well, what took him so long? But, you know, I mean, he's on the card again. Hopefully another KO victory, but tell me about it.
Callum's really got a lot of buzz around him right now. We brought him to Madison Square Garden for the Kitty Taylor-Serrano fight. And a lot of the Irish fans recognize him because he had such a great amateur Irish career, 6-time national Irish champion, European gold medalist. So we're excited to have Callum back on the show. It's a big step up in competition. He's headlining the UFC Fight Pass show tonight here at the Quiet Cannon. He's fighting an undefeated fighter, 3-0. Callum's 2-0, so we're excited about this fight. He's fighting Luis Garcia from San Diego, so it should be a great fight.
It's always a great card, man. You got a lot of good local talent here. Tell me about some of the other fighters you got going on tonight.
Got Marco Deckman back on the show. Right. We got a great female matchup with Chelsea Anderson versus Juarez from San Diego, and she's Jackie Juarez. She's really good. That'll be an exciting fight. Omar Trinidad is on the show, 7-0, fighting a guy that's 6-1. That's also very good. Manny Pacquiao Jr. is making his not his amateur debut, but he's in an amateur fight. That'll be early tonight, so we're excited about having Manny Jr. on the show. Ruben Islas is a fan favorite. He's on the show, so there'll be some nice. And Tito Mercado is on the show too.
That's right. Man, it's a stacked card as always on these Hollywood fight nights. Man, I want to ask, how was Japan, man? Japan, with Triple G, how was that experience?
Yeah, we haven't seen each other for a little while, but no, Triple G looked great over there. It had, whenever you can beat a champion in his home country by 9th round KO is a huge victory for Gennady. He's still doing it. It's age 40. He's a unified middleweight champion again. He's right back up toward the top of the pound-for-pound ratings. So we're excited about where Gennady's at in his career and positioned for some big fights again. Right,
of course. Obviously, Canelo. Well, let's talk about that first. Canelo versus Bivol. Didn't get the victory. Obviously, that would have set up the third Triple G fight. But just first, let's talk about the Canelo-Bivol fight. What do you think about that fight?
I think Canelo didn't really look the way I've seen him look in the past, especially not in the Triple G fights. He was much more elusive, had great upper body movement, had fast hand speed, great counter punching. So I don't know what was different with Canelo. He's a big guy. So, fighting at 175 isn't that big of a stretch for him. Bivol is solid. You can't take anything away from Bivol, but I didn't think Canelo could lose a decision in Las Vegas. I think that was the most shocking thing. After we saw a score of 10-2 for Canelo, when most people thought Gennady won 8-4 in the first fight, I thought Canelo's not losing a decision in Las Vegas, and looked like it was going that direction, but you got to give credit to Bivol. He did what he needed to do. I'm not exactly sure why they picked Bivol. There wasn't really much for Canelo to prove, except for, if he wanted to get a world title at 175, but he's the undisputed champion 168. There was decent names there, and, but I think the third fight, the trilogy with Triple G, is still out there. Canelo still has all of his titles at 168. Seems like he's more comfortable at that weight. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I know Gennady's in a very good position right now in his career with his marketability, and again being a unified champion again.
Obviously, the dust is still kind of settling from that, but have you guys heard anything from that side? Obviously, the plan was, had Canelo got a victory, he was coming down to 68. The third fight with Triple G was, signed, sealed, delivered. But, now that happened, maybe the unexpected or whatever. And so I don't know. Do you guys know anything? Have you gotten an update from Matchroom or the Canelo side as far as what's going to happen next?
There's no official decision on that. I wouldn't personally. If I was Canelo, wouldn't exercise the rematch clause. I don't think much is going to change in the next fight. I think Bivol actually probably gets more confidence in the second fight, unless there was really something wrong with Canelo, whether it's his diet or his training or whatever it was. If there was something wrong with Canelo, like I said, he still has all the titles at 168, and Triple G is still the biggest name that he can fight. It was kind of a muted promotion with Canelo. Normally you think Cinco de Mayo, Canelo, and you didn't really have that same buzz like we saw in the past, especially not with the Triple G fights. You know, those set records for ticket sales and great pay-per-view numbers and things of that nature. So it was a little bit muted from what I saw, but look, you know, Canelo still is a very marketable guy. A lot of people are kind of writing him off, like you know, he lost to Bivol, a bigger guy, that type of thing. But I think, just like I said, it didn't look like the Canelo that we were used to. But you know, Gennady's 40 years old, and Gennady is still doing his thing. So you know, we'll see. We'll see if that third fight can be put together.
I know after the Triple G fight, I saw a lot of criticism online that Triple G looked a little older. Obviously, he's 40 years old. And then prior to the Bivol fight with Canelo, it was kind of like, you know, maybe. A lot of people were telling me, you know, that they thought Canelo was going to knock out Triple G, kind of based off that. But you know, now after the Bivol fight, I feel like the Canelo Triple G fight maybe is a little more intriguing than it was prior.
Well, you see, Gennady's still at the top of his career. Like I said, he beat a champion. Murata wasn't an easy fight. Very tricky style, tall guy, lanky, similar to Bivol, tall, lanky, good puncher. You could see he was giving Triple G some problems for the first 3 rounds, and then after that, it seemed like Triple G really got kind of turned up. You know, as far as Murata couldn't keep up the same pace, couldn't match the punching power, and that's where Triple G wore him down. After the 6th round, it became pretty clear that Murata was starting to fade. So, you know, with Canelo losing to Bivol, with Triple G beating Murata, you know, it seems like people have re-evaluated that matchup, because I heard the same thing like you said, that, you know, Triple G's 40 years old, it's not going to be a competitive fight. And now everyone's thinking, you know, this is much more competitive than what people might think. And you know, you got to look back. And those fights, even though I thought Triple G won those 2 fights, or at worst case won the first fight and a draw in the second fight, you know, those were pretty much Canelo's toughest fights. You know, 1 point in each. 1 point in each fight would have changed the outcome in terms of Triple G winning the first fight and having a draw in the, not 1 point on the every card, just 1 point on one judge's scorecard. He would have retained his titles on the second fight as well. So I think it's still a lot of intrigue. Triple G is a global star. He brings his own fan base. Canelo naturally has his fan base, and that's what really made fireworks when those 2 guys fought the first 2 times.
Canelo even, I saw a little social media clip with DAZN did that. Canelo even said Triple G was his second toughest opponent ever. I believe Floyd was number 1. But yeah.
Well, that was when he was 22, and
right.
You know, he was kind of inexperienced at that point. But yeah, I mean, there's no way you can't say that Triple G was not his toughest fights, because they really pushed each other. You know, at such a high boxing IQ on each side.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we get to see it. Anything else going on, Tom? You want to let the fans know about?
Sure. Cecilia Brækhus is here in town. She's in LA, and she's getting ready for August 13th over in Colombia. She'll be moving up to the super welterweight division, 154 division, and fighting for the WBC title in Colombia, August 13th. So we're excited about that. That we're looking for her to get her titles back. If that goes well, then she's looking at fighting Sinclair for her IBF title, so she could be a unified champion again by this year, by the end of this year. So we're excited about that. Ioka is, you know, I saw him when we were in Japan, so it was great to see Ioka over there. Great to see Chocolatito over there. So, but tonight we're excited about Cal Mulch. You know, we took him also because this is on UFC Fight Pass. We took him to UFC 274 in Phoenix. And he got a lot of publicity over there, and Dana White's really taken a liking to him, and sponsored by Howler Head Whiskey already. So we're excited for the prospects. There you go. Sure. Yeah.
Tom, thank you so much, man, for your time. Tell the fans where they can follow 360 and yourself on all social media stuff.
Well, it's Tom Loeffler 1 on Twitter and Instagram, and 360 Promotions as well.
Oh, just.